towards the basket and misses one.
Hello once again, and welcome to another episode of Inside IUE Sports. I'm your host, Kaleb Gillock, and we've got another great episode all the way for you here today. We're going to be talking cross country as we've got a couple of national qualifiers here in studio with us, and we'll also be showing some highlights from the River States Conference Volleyball Tournament Championship game as your Red Wolves took the championship there and that. But first today, joined by Cole Dudley and Ashley Toschlog to talk a little bit about cross country. Thanks for joining me today, guys.
Thank you for having me.
Well, Cole, yourself, just from across the state line, National Trail, just tell us a little bit about where you're from and how you got here to IU East.
I'm from New Paris, Ohio, which is like 5 minutes away from National Trail and like 15 minutes away from IU East.
Right.
And deciding to come here was kind of easy because it's so close to home, so I can commute back and forth and save money on like renting an apartment.
Right. And Ashley, yourself, just from down the road in Centerville, how'd you get here?
Well, my dad really wanted me to stay close to home, and I love my family, so that was an easy choice to pick here. So I knew I was going to come here no matter what.
And what were some of the things that you guys liked about IU East that was just, that deciding factor on why you wanted to come here? Cole, we'll start with you.
Deciding factor, it was basically like my high school, like kind of small, so like you get to know everyone very well and say like I have a lot of friends here at IU East.
All right. And Ashley?
The small class sizes and the fact that I get to have one-on-one conversations with my professors, so that's really nice.
Yeah, I've always agreed that small class size is always a nice problem to have. So speaking of the academic side of it, just tell us a little bit about what you're majoring in, maybe any minors that you're trying to pursue. Cole?
My major is criminal justice, and I'm doing well in all my criminal justice classes, and I'm minoring in coaching.
Okay.
So I hope to coach one day.
What all do you plan to do with the criminal justice degree?
Probably start off as like a highway patrolman or maybe even a detective one day.
Okay. All right. And how about yourself?
I'm majoring in education. I'm going to be an elementary teacher, and I'm minoring in physical education, and I hope one day to be a coach as well. So.
Okay. All right, well, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about cross-country. Great seasons for both of you guys as well as your teams. Just tell us a bit about how the season's been going for you, Ashley.
It's been going great. I worked really hard over the summer. Sarah Hornack was there with me all summer, and we did this cardio CrossFit class, which wasn't my favorite thing in the world, but she helped me to stick with it, and we ran all summer. And then we got to the season, and our whole team pushed each other, and then that's why we did so well, is just being able to push each other.
And you yourself, your improvement from the beginning of the season to where you're at now, your thoughts on that?
It's kind of crazy going from running, I think the first 5K we ran, I ran a 21 flat, to being able to run a 19:45. That's a big improvement, and it's just amazing to be able to finally see the hard work paying off. So.
And before we went on the air, you talked a little bit about some of the differences in times. You talked about the course that the conference meet was on. You ran there like a couple weeks before that, and then back there, and times changed a little bit. Tell us about that.
I got sick the week of conference, so it wasn't the greatest race at conference. It was really hard to breathe, but I was just thankful that I was able to hold on for 3.1 miles to finish. So, yeah, I'm just grateful that happened.
And Cole, how about your season?
We start out with the 5K at our home course here, and finishing with a 16:58, I believe, on this course is really great to have on a 5K, which I know some Earlham kids that did better, but that's fine. Then our next meet was a 6K, which we run 8Ks throughout the year, and going to that 6K is kind of just getting a closer, just to improve on the 8Ks. And then once hitting our first 8K, the boys team, we felt like we could have done better and felt like we could have practiced harder. And that's what we did. We improved from that meet ever since, and that's why we had such a good season, and that's why I felt like I improved as well, because my teammates were always pushing me as well. So.
Well, let's go ahead and talk a little more about your improvement. I mean, you've emerged as the #1 runner on the men's team this season. So your improvement from the beginning of the season to where you're at now.
Just basically hard work. I mean, and I especially have to give up for Adam Klipstein and Blake Brooks, like the people I've been running with for quite a while now. And those two are, I say me and Blake started like a month ago, since he had to work all Tuesday. After he got off work, me and him would basically do our hard workout, which was like sprints and stuff. So like we were out in like 30-degree cold weather at night, and it was just crazy because like we were so cold. We were all bundled up,
Right.
but we were trying to hit our times that Brett would give us.
Now, it's got to be easy. I mean, you tell me, I could be completely wrong on this, but when you're able to practice in conditions like that where it's cold, it's maybe rainy out, you've seen the Indiana weather the last couple of weeks, but it's got to help you for days that it's warmer, though, right?
Oh, definitely. I feel like warm days are like especially when it's like 50 degrees, I'm like, oh, this is great, ready to run in.
Right. All right. Ashley, one thing I failed to mention and talk with you about, you've had 4 of the 7 fastest times in school history as you've improved this season. Tell us a little about that.
It's crazy to think that I have been able to run those times this year, and I'm just grateful that I've had such a great season and able to practice and work hard. So.
Right. All right, well, let's go ahead and talk about the conference meet. Just tell us a bit about how it went for you on the women's side.
It went okay. We were happy with the results, but we weren't happy with the results. We all worked our hardest. It was very foggy that day, and it was so muddy. I remember when we first went into the woods, you go, and then there's this like little curve, and I almost went straight into like branches and so I had to like stop a little and pivot. And under the circumstances, we did well, and I'm proud of our team. So.
All right, and Cole?
Yeah, like Ashley said, it was definitely a muddy race. Like, I remember one part of the course, I felt like my whole foot went into the ground. It was like in complete mud. So I was like, oh God. Like, it just like kind of messed me up a little bit. But for the guys, we thought we could have done better, honestly. I know I talked to like all the freshmen and then a runner that didn't get to run last year because he was redshirted, Ben Willie. But we all decided like next year we really want to win conference, and we were going to push for it.
All right. What we're going to do is we'll go ahead and take a break, and when we come back, we'll talk more about conference, your reactions, and thoughts on having to go out to Vancouver, Washington. So we'll talk more on the other side of the break when we return with more Inside IUE Sports.
The leaders of First Bank Richmond encourage their employees to give their best effort towards serving the community. One organization very dear to many First Bank Richmond employees is the Third Grade Reading Academy. First Bank staff volunteers hundreds of hours and even host Academy students on site. Doing great things together stands for First Bank's commitment to continue doing all they can to make life better for their customers and our community. First Bank Richmond and you, doing great things together.
And we're back here on Inside IUE Sports. I've been talking with Cole Dudley and Ashley Toschlog about their seasons as cross-country runners. And, of course, they are national qualifiers. They're going to be headed out to Vancouver, Washington. But let's think about that conference meet again for a moment. Sure, you had to wait around for a little bit, but what was your thoughts, your reactions, and especially when you found out you were going to nationals, Ashley?
So I had to wait around a lot. Like, I had to wait through the rest of the girls' race, the rest of the boys' race, until we got to the award ceremony. And even after the award ceremony, they never announced that we made it. So we had to go down and find out. But the whole time my teammates were like, Ashley, you made it. It's okay. You're fine. You made it. Because I was just freaking out the whole time. I'm like, I didn't make it to nationals. They're like, yes, you did. You made it to nationals, Ashley. And even after I found out I did, I was like, no, I didn't make it to nationals. It didn't hit me until we were at the restaurant we went to. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to nationals.
Right.
So that was my moment of, oh my goodness.
Well, it's going to be nice to have that support from your teammates too, right?
Yeah. One of my teammates, Brooke, she held my hand during the ceremony because I was so nervous.
All right, Cole, your thoughts and emotions?
Well, I know I had to wait around for the girls' race to be over, so like doing my thing, I was warming up. And when I first started out, like during the race, like I was going on, say 2 weeks ago when we went there, like before conference, Point Park, good team, you know, they started off really fast, so and they all died through, and that's when I got a second at that meet. But like during conference, they did not do that. They they strategized and say they started off slower, and so when they were like trying to pass, I was like, well, I'm going to have to go with them because I know they're probably the team to beat.
Right.
Which I think they got second at that meet. So, but yeah, after the race, I had a couple people tell me I was 7th, and then like I thought I was 10th, and then my coach said I was 9th, and when I was going back through, I was like, yeah, I'm 9th, and I knew if the top 2 teams went, then I was going to go to nationals because it was top 6 individuals, and I got 5th. So I thought when I did, I was like, wow, this is a great feeling, and I loved it.
Well, again, mentioned you have to go to Vancouver, Washington now for nationals. What are you guys doing right now to prepare for that trip, Ashley?
I went out and bought a jacket because it's going to be cold. But right now, during practices, we're tapering a little bit. And, I think today we just had an easy day, 45 minutes, and for Cole, it's 50 minutes for a run. And then I know tomorrow we're going to have a tempo run. And then I think on Wednesday, we're having like a Shawls workout, which is like doing 1,000, 800, 400, and then repeating that again, and then just to have a shakeout. And then when we get to Vancouver on Thursday, we're going to have a little shakeout run too. So that's how we're preparing for the week.
Especially after that long flight. So how are you feeling about having to make the trip out there, Cole?
Making the trip out there, I feel like it's going to be fun because like I know this is going to be like my second time flying ever. So going out to Washington is going to be a fun experience just to get to see the environment there and the nature.
Right.
And I think we're running at like a Fort Vancouver, so it's like an army base. So I feel like that's going to be pretty cool to see.
Yeah. Now, you were talking before we went on the air, you've never flown before, right?
No, I'm terrified. And I was told to chew a lot of gum and to drink a lot of water. And Brooke is going to be there to hold my hand again because I'll be nervous the whole time.
All right. Now, you also were talking a little bit about your dad's going to get to go too, right?
Yeah, I'm so excited. He's my biggest fan, and he means a lot to me. And so it's just great that he's going to be able to fly out and see me run.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited to have my biggest fan there.
And Cole, you going to have a family going out?
Yeah. It was funny because I was like, well, my conference is 3 hours away, well, like 3.5. And it's like, if I do make it to nationals, it's going to be in Vancouver, Washington. And they're like, oh, we'll go to nationals for you. I was like, oh, okay. And so, yeah, I'm pretty sure my mom, my dad, and my sister are going. So I feel like that's pretty cool. And yeah, my family has always been there supporting for my running. I'm very grateful. And I texted I have family in West Virginia. I texted them, and they were also supportive, and I just loved it.
Well, it's going to be nice for both of you guys to have that kind of support system, both with your teammates and your families. So anything else before we go that you want to add, either about cross country or nationals, Ashley?
I think that I'm just grateful for this whole season and then being able to go to nationals because that was my biggest goal at the beginning of the season. And it's just a great feeling to know that I reached my goal for this season. And I don't know what a better way to end the season than to be able to go on my first plane ride and go see Vancouver, Washington, and get to run with the top girls in the NAIA. So.
All right. Cole?
I felt like my season went very well for me because I know my first 2 years here, I didn't feel like I was running my best, and now I felt like I'm getting up there, and I can't wait for next season. And as a team, I felt like we did all right, but we're ready to get better and be stronger for next season. And going to nationals was one of my goals first coming to IU East, and now I want my team to go with me to nationals.
All right. Well, thank you guys both for your time. Best of luck, and safe travels out to Vancouver and back.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, well, there you have it there from Cole Dudley and Ashley Toschlog talking about their seasons as cross-country runners, as well as they're headed off to nationals again. That'll be in Vancouver, Washington. Keep up to date with them at IUERedwolves.com. We'll take a quick break and be back with more Inside IUE Sports.